Back again, brother.
We are back. Ayo.
It's been a minute.
Episode 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knocking them out.
Yep. Yeah, we're a couple weeks behind now.
Yeah, we took off a little bit. We had a lot going on.
Yeah. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Been busy.
Yeah.
Been a little busy.
It's that time of year, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but the game cam pictures are starting to get exciting. And
Yeah, we'll have to dive into that a little bit
yes,
there. Yeah.
having a good time with some of that stuff. But
We were talking about last night. It's kind of weird, man. Like, I don't have, like, my wife's like, what are you going to do this weekend? Like, I don't know. Maybe I may do that paint the front door project and put the new lock on. Been staying out of the woods. I don't have anything to do on the tractor. It's kind of a weird feeling because up until this point, it's been pretty much something every weekend.
Oh,
I'm
my
cutting
gosh.
down something, piling up some brush, I'm constantly out there like
Every afternoon,
Come
every
back
evening.
with blood coming down my legs and arms. What'd you do? Like, I needed to fill in a little hole here and got hung up in a briar bush. Yeah.
yeah, I was like you. It was like, wife's like, all right, what are you going to do this weekend? And I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't know. What's podcast?
Let's talk about it at least. Come on. But no, we've accomplished a lot in the last month.
Oh man, it's been crazy. And then
it has.
it's like talking about before. Should we go? Should we plant? Should we do this? And
Yeah.
we got the client property done, so
Yep.
that was another big thing. So
Yep.
that was another thing on our plate that we it's like we get this thing done, man, and get that going, get it. So that was gosh, we've done a lot since the last time we've been on air too. Like
That's what I'm saying. It's been,
Yeah.
3 weeks probably?
yeah, I think so.
A couple weeks
Been a
anyway.
minute. We apologize for the
Yeah, the delay.
break in the action.
Yeah. Well, it's because we literally didn't have a minute to spare.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I
It's
mean-
fun though. Love every second of
it's
that
a blast.
stuff. Yeah.
It's like I'm kind of lost right now. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Oh, I know.
I was thinking, okay, I haven't done my burlap. So I was just thinking
Okay.
about that.
Yeah.
I need to do my
I
burlap.
got that done.
You were finished with that?
Yeah, I did. I bought 2 more things of it, and so I ran a strip right down the middle where the trap door is, and then the next row I came up and I wrapped it like kind of the side facing the big food plot. So I went up another rung where we welded those braces in, and I wrapped it around again. And
So you're impenetrable
I
now?
think it's gonna be pretty nice. And then I cut down a bunch of cedar trees and stacked in that little hole where I made my little golf cart path to feed.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
got that done.
See, I got to hang 3, and you know how my stand's set up back there. It's gonna be a little tricky, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
real
almost,
sure.
You almost need the giant forklift.
Yeah,
thing again.
rent the lift again.
Yeah, I went to lift again to get up there.
Yeah, I don't really know how exactly I'm going to do that. I guess I'll take the big ladder out there, but it's going to be sketchy.
Yeah, as always. As always.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
So yeah, this morning, dude, I can finally say I am done
Yeah.
planting.
Yeah.
Today, I mean, I was like, I told you, so I had your no-till drill,
Yeah.
and I thought I was finished last night. And then I got back to the house and was like, dadgum, there's still seed in there. And
Yeah, we got to get rid of this.
I'm not wasting seed.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it. So I was like this morning, I was like, okay, I'm going to go out there and
Yeah.
figure something else out to put on. And so I did the math on that
Yeah.
between the new client property, your place and my place, 5.5 acres,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's probably pretty accurate.
1,312 pounds of seed.
1312. That's not too bad.
No, that's not bad.
And I got another 200 in my
Yeah.
garage
Yeah.
right now.
You
that I'm
layer
gonna-
some rye.
I'm going to layer some rye once it gets sprouted up. That's a new tactic we're going to try just for the crimping purposes.
Well, I'm hoping with this drill, man, that these may be seen from outer space. I don't know.
Dude, I'm going to tell you.
It's legit.
You already know, but we've got some plots that we sowed with the bags and drug in, and we got some plots that we drilled.
Yep.
And I sent you what I had at my place already, and it is insane, the differences. So backstory is got the drill, April, something like that.
Something like that,
Planted
yep.
some beans. Beans came up in 7.5 inch rows. Those moved in when they got about 4 inches tall and annihilated the whole plot. So it was cool to see them come up. But this is our first season
Fall.
to plant fall food plots with it.
Yes.
So, same deal. We got some videos out there about how to dial it in, and we actually made some adjustments to that. We actually did kind of do it wrong the first time.
Yeah, left out a number.
So we made an adjustment to that. I got in contact with a guy. His name's Paul Hollis. He was actually kind of over like the Genesis stuff. He's like the VP or something. Now he started his own company, PH Outdoors, I think. And he actually may be on this podcast too, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He mentioned that to me. So, but he's, I messaged him that night and he was like, here's exactly what you need to do, which the book makes it fairly simple, but, I don't know. I guess we were too excited the last time we kind of
we didn't convert something we were supposed to.
Skipped announces part there, but,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, the difference is huge already because the germination, so we got a rain after we sowed and after we drilled.
Yep.
The sowed plots have a ton of seed that's floated up to the top.
On top of the ground.
The drilled plot has no seed floated up on top, and it's already
German
going crazy.
Yep. It's already going nuts.
So you're, what did we say? I can't remember what the number was now. I don't want to tell a lie, but I think it was like 30 or 40% more germination rate with the drill.
Yeah, well, it's the success rate's really high.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
And you can see it now after you got that rain and all that seed washed up. You're like, okay, well, I get this. And then I go out there the next day and I'm like, holy crap, I already got peas popping, winter wheat's popping. And then last night I went out there to feed and sent you that deal. And it's like, it's tough to see on video, but when you stand back and look over a 2-acre food plot all the way down, it's just a green fuzz over the whole thing.
Stubble.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's gonna be electric.
Well, we got our pH right.
Yes. Yeah.
And I needed 2,000 pounds of fertilizer. Yep. So that was probably a pretty big hindrance on mine last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of our plots are dialed in 100% soil wise.
Yep.
And we got everything drilled in. So man, I absolutely cannot wait to see.
And so, me, I'm kind of hard to change. I'm kind of stuck in my ways, I guess.
Well, if it works, it works.
Like I said on my video, this is the 23rd year I've planted my front food plot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I've always broadcasted.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, all right, Chris, I'm going to do my back plot, my new one.
Yeah.
We'll drill it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do my front one the same. Well, this was going to be a great representation of.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I did the back one all drilled and we put our rows like half an inch apart. It takes a long time to do it that way, but
she's a little time consuming.
7-8 hours on tractor. But I think it's going to blow away my front plot. And if that's all I need to convert. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we've never really had a season yet where we can say, okay, this is how good the drill does.
Yeah. No, this is the maiden voyage and the same. But where I'm at with it is, and of course, we still, because we've been doing it the old way so long, if it says 100 pounds per acre, let's plant 200 pounds an acre because we know we're going to get some loss. So I think you can overcome that by overseeding.
Yeah.
But it kind of like I was telling you, is like, dude, I basically got some hooks I welded on the front of my bucket. So I was lining up that hook with the next tire marks. I mean, our rows are maybe a half an inch apart, just going over it and over it and over it.
Yes.
Because, the drill plant's 7.5 inches apart. We don't want 7.5 inches apart. So we're not planting corn, but, so it's time consuming, and what did we say I spent doing mine?
Yours was 7.5 hours.
Yeah. So
you were on a tractor for 7.5 hours.
So,
2 acres.
Time consuming for sure. But
one day,
the way I justified it was, well, I've tilled it 3 times this year.
Yeah.
And it takes me about 4 hours to till it.
Right.
So I've got 12 hours in tilling that I won't have next year. It'll just be running over with a crimp, running the drill through it, and we're out of there. So,
Yep.
And, we had some concerns from tilling because it wasn't quite as compact as we thought we needed. So we had to ended up adjusting the drill up to 1/2 an inch and using the top link to get it kind of dialed in. So we were getting that 3/4 inch, planning deal.
Yep.
Man, the results I'm seeing so far, I think it's going to be crazy difference now. Like I said, I think you can overcome that, like even on your front plot and my lower plot, by overseeding.
Yeah.
We've had great plots, but
oh yeah, for sure.
I just think this is going to simplify it. Not to mention, the buffalo system side of it. When we're actually year 3, we got 3/4 of an inch of, black soil
Top
in there.
soil.
It's like, that's what made me want to get the drill in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, if you can take it, like we always talk about, if you can take something that's worked really well
Yeah.
and improve it,
Oh, for sure.
my gosh, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? It's like, and so kind of the way we are too, it's competitive. Deer hunting's competitive.
Yeah.
And people around you are going to be feeding and they're going to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
But what you find out is a lot of people aren't going to put in the work.
Yeah.
And like we talk about all the time. And so why would we not take a step that could put ours to the next level?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I feel like now, dude. It's like once we got our pH right, once we got our fertilizer right, now we got it drilled in.
Yeah.
We're not going to waste hardly any seed at all.
No.
And we put a lot.
Yeah.
of seed.
I don't think you waste a seed. Like we talked about
Yeah.
I got quite a few trees. I left a bunch of the white oaks in mine. So it's like, I'm still trying to, raise it up, back up to there, set it down by the tree and drill into that too. And once you pick it up, it'll drop just a little bit, but that's it. Everything else is in the ground.
It's clean. It's really clean.
It's in the ground and it's covered up.
Well, I'm excited to see because, like you said, I don't know how close our rows are actually going to be. You said like a half an inch. They're close.
Yeah, they're real close. You can still see them though.
There's sections that I would run over and then go over the other direction. So it's doubled.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see if it's just going to be this carpet or, that's the thing. And to see that's the comparison I want to make is, okay, we broadcast heavy on my front food plot, but we drilled it heavy in the back.
Yeah.
I want to see the yield difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. Well, I'm like you. I mean, I think it's kind of easy to see when you finish up a field and there is no seed on top of the ground.
Yeah.
And nothing but tire tracks because your rows are that close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's we talked about that. We want that. We want as lush.
Yeah.
And so,
we're still learning.
Yeah,
we may not have to keep it that tight. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It may be, I don't know how it all fills in with, if we were like planting like a Nebraska mix.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we could probably get away with a 7.5 inch rows. It's all going to fill in, but that's a whole other topic. Why Nebraskas don't work here, I don't know, but they don't.
Yeah, well, me and you was both beating our head against the wall trying to figure out something we could add.
Yeah.
Just to give us something else that the deer will eat. And it's like, it's not much out there. I mean, I pulled the trigger on chicory and you went with radish.
Yeah, I put tillage radish in, and then I did, the year one of my plot, I put in the clover and mixed chicory in. They liked it. So they will eat that for sure.
Yeah.
The radish, I'm not sure about. I kind of did it just for something a little different, and it's tillage radish that actually helps.
Adds to the soil.
Yeah, adds to the soil. But after looking at mine right now and being on it, after how many times I've tilled it and raked it and got all the bricks out of it and all that stuff, she's pretty nice.
It is.
I didn't know if I really needed it or not, but I wanted to add something to it. And it's like 4 pounds an acre, so I put 8 pounds of radish in there.
Yeah.
We mixed it in real good in the hopper, so we'll see. I expect it probably to come up, and we'll see what it does at that point. If it improves the soil, I'll just keep putting it in there.
And if there's a chance the deer will eat it too. If it's attractive to the deer, and see. So what I did on the front plot is I broadcast it like we talked about, didn't drill it.
Yeah.
But then I added what I've always kind of done is, like you said, a clover chicory mix that I know I'll have in the spring.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my cover crop, if you will.
Yeah.
But maybe changing that. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wanted a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah. No, that's perfect place to do it too. You got two bigger plots. My other ones are little kill plots, 1/4 acre. So, but I could definitely see the difference just by taking the card out and looking around them, and like you roll up and it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much seed on the ground. But you also know there's something in the ground. But then you go to the big plot and there's no seed on the ground. Like,
exactly.
To me, that was an immediate, okay, now I'm getting it. Which makes total sense.
Yeah.
You put the seed in the ground and roll over with a wheel with whatever that thing weighs, 1,600, probably 1,800 pounds with seed in it. What were we putting in? 300 pounds of seed at a time? Like, so what it would hold, is that right?
Yeah, 300.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and
you put 850.
Yeah, 850. So it's
858 or whatever.
Yeah, 858, and 20,000 miles.
Yeah. Definitely log some time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's monotonous, for sure. But it's like, I'm not a super patient guy. So it's like, man, I'm just going round and round and round. But it's like, so the only thing I could put in my head to justify was the tilling thing. Like, well, I want to sit out here and beat my tractor to death, suck up all the dust and all that stuff next year. Cause we're talking about, our, crimping over the rye. We're going to so last year I was brush hogging the rye out so the clover would take back off. This year I'm going to let the rye get tall.
Yep.
We'll crimp that over. We'll plant a summer crop in it.
Whatever you decide at that point. Yeah.
Well, I was hung up on the bean deal, but after they came up, I don't think that's going to work. I mean, unless you fenced it off, and I'm not going to do that. So, Eagle Seed makes some really cool stuff if you can find it. Most co-ops don't carry Eagle Seed, and I actually got in contact with like the manufacturer people and left them a couple messages. Didn't hear anything back because I was trying to get one of their blends for the fall too, but just to test out a strip, But, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe buckwheat, something. I've heard buckwheat's like really, really good. You do the investigation on that, and like basically we're trying to build soil by crimping it over and letting it rot. So So it's going to be a totally different process this year. No weeds. I mean, never have to worry about a weed again, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you always got a crop in there covering up the weeds.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That'd be pretty huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once you crimp it down too, like you're saying, I mean, what's it going to do to the soil? I mean, that's our big thing. Like you said, and that you kind of convinced me. He's like, dude, if we get like in 3 years, if we got like black topsoil, like we see up north when we go hunting.
Yeah.
Like that's going to change everything.
Yeah. Oh, well, you think about it. It's like, pretty much everything we planted this year, just the drill depth was, 3/4 to 1 inch.
Yeah.
They're saying 1/4 inch of topsoil a year if you plant summer crops. You're crimping in the summer and you're crimping in the fall, and that's rotting. So if you crimp over your fall plot, it gets all that rain on, all that rye rots, doom, back and forth. So year 3 will have 3/4 of an inch. We're almost planting into Missouri dirt at that point. Man. So now what do we got?
Yeah, exactly. And then, we'd already talked about too, we're both going to do a soil test next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just see where we're at. And then, we may get to the point where fertilizer is not a big deal.
That's what they say. Yeah. It's like, you really don't have to fertilize it too much.
It's fertile.
It's kind of like the Great Plains they talk about. It's like they don't be putting any fertilizer on that, and it grows wildflowers and all this stuff all over it every year. It's because it's constantly, collapsing, rotting, and all that thatch. And
renewing itself.
So,
Yeah.
So, if you can save money on that, I'm not saying, not everybody's going to go out and buy a drill, but, we're unreasonable. So
going to be unreasonable.
I'm excited to see the difference of it for sure.
For sure. And, one of our big concerns doing it, and we both talked about it, we both tilled our spots because we wanted to get them right beforehand.
Yeah.
And the soil was loose per se. And we were pretty deep on planting. We thought we were. Yeah. But you've already got germination. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Well, we made a drill adjustment, top link adjustment, and then, the wheels were kind of packing down a little bit deeper than we wanted to, but the seed was still at the right depth.
Yeah.
So that's what, you kind of got to take into consideration, even though the wheel was kind of leaving a rut and it's, 1.5 inches, but really the seed's only,
right underneath it.
Yeah. It's only 3/4 of an inch underneath there. So
yeah.
Mine's already gangbusters, right? I mean, you can barely just see the fuzz across it. It looks like total germination.
Another good rain on it, and it's going to be
for sure
insane.
Yeah.
So you guys, we got yours in before the rain.
Yeah.
And I didn't get mine in drilled before the rain.
Yeah. Yeah. You got your top plot done.
I will see the difference there too. Little concerned about some temps coming. We got some upper 80s for a couple days.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get in here and get out, and that'll be over with. We don't have to worry about the temperatures.
Yeah, that's the thing we were talking about when we drilled it, or even the client property. It's like, man, I don't know. We got some. If it gets hot again, it pops up and burns it. Then But the wheat's probably the first thing that's going to burn, and it'd be pretty easy to go in there and throw some in before rain. But we got a couple days. It's in the high 80s, but we also have 2 days that looks like it's probably going to get some rain too.
Get some rain, which is what we need.
That may may not hurt us too bad on that side of it. So
that's what we've been doing, man. That's where we've been for three weeks. I mean, it's been every evening, afternoon, and weekend, pretty much in the woods trying to figure out how to get seed in the ground. And
if we should, if we shouldn't.
Yeah, pull the trigger. And we did a whole bunch of liming and fertilizing. And
going back to that. So I did all that cleanup on mine. I was like, I'm going to tell it one more time before we, initiate this buffalo system, because, we call it Brick City out there. The guy that had it before me was a contractor. I got rebar, parking curbs, concrete bags, anything you can imagine. I found a tire tool. So I was like, I'm going to tell it one more time, get the rock rake out there. And I spent, 4 days out there making it just really nice. Land plan is like, I'm done. Then we got our soil test back, and it's like, you need a ton of fertilizer. I'm like, man, I better till this fertilizer in. Like it's
a lot.
You ran over it with the 1 ton with the big hopper on the back of it. It's like the ground was covered in fertilizer.
Yep.
It's like, I better till this in. So I tilled it in one more time. Of course, I tilled up some more brick particles, and I was kind of getting OCD with it. So I had the boy go out there and walk all the food plots, pick out all the rocks and all that stuff. So it's pretty nice now.
No, it's really nice.
A whole lot going on out there.
I think you also had like a casualty during all that, right? So the old tiller took a...
Oh, yeah. I blew my tiller up. That was a whole other thing.
Yeah, that was Brick City. That was because of Brick City.
I'll guarantee it. Yeah. So, I was... dude, I don't know I didn't know if it was salvageable or not. So long story on my tiller, I collect my change, right? So I throw my change in a bucket and a bucket and a bucket. And I've been, 3-4 years, all this change. I'm like, man, I wonder how much in I really want a tiller. So I took it to my local bank down there, and ended up being like, I don't know, $5,800 or something like that. And they're just like, I'm going to buy a tiller. So bought brand, everything else I have is pretty much used other than the drill. I'll just buy, used stuff. Used brush hogs.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But brand new tiller, supposed to be the best. And like, it has this U-bolt that holds the shaft on there. Yep. Well, it was so dusty and so loud, little did I know the U-bolt broke. Well, I started smelling like 90 weight gear oil. I'm like, what the heck is that? So finally shut it down and looked, and that U-bolt had came off where the shaft, and there's no belts on. This is all gear driven stuff. Yeah. And then it sheared all the bolts off the actual like ring and pinion that turns the deal. So it ate the ring gear, ground a hole in my little crankcase thing. Like it was sticking out of it. Jeez. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I started looking online, see if I can find some parts for it. Can't really find a whole lot of information about it. So I'm just going to take the thing apart and see. So I took it all apart. Didn't know nothing about taking the tiller apart and all the gears and stuff in there and shims in there. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hand filed all the gears back because they were all burnt up. Welded the top of it all back in there and got it all set back up where I thought it may or may not work. I didn't know. But anyway, so I put synthetic hardened steel, had to drill out all the old broken bolts, drill it, tap it, put my own gasket maker on there, thread locked everything in, hardened steel bolts, beefier U-bolt that broke and caused this whole problem, synthetic gear oil, and she's running like a top now.
Yeah, man.
She's ready to go.
You sent me that picture, and I was like, oh, dude.
She's gone.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to try to fix it. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it was pretty bad looking, dude.
Yeah, that was
bad. Solid now. I mean, we did that.
Oh, that's what I told her. I was like, hey, this thing's better now than what it was when I bought it.
Yeah, we did the client property with it right after you fixed it.
And she's silent. Doesn't even make a noise.
Yeah. It's a sad thing, though. We're going to have to retire that thing, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, just do a little garden spot with it. That's about it. Probably 5 passes and shut it back down.
Well, you can't get rid of it now because you've got too much heart and soul.
Oh, yeah, no. And it's too well built now.
It's beefy.
It's got my touch on it. Grade 8 bolts and synthetic gear oil and grease and
did it right.
Everything else on top of it. So, yeah, it's that was bad. And bad thing about it was I was in such a panic about it because I needed to I got the big plot done before it blew up, but I needed to still do my 3 kill plots. Yeah. So I'm like, gosh, dang it, man, the rain was coming. I knew we were pressed. Like, it's getting close to time to plant, even though we're way earlier than last year, which is what we wanted. Like, let's get some time to grow before the frost comes in here and, kind of starts stunting the growth of everything. So I was panicking, and I made no joke. I would get off work, come home, start taking stuff apart, hand filing stuff, grinding stuff, tapping stuff. I got to run back to town, get my tap set from the shop. My drill went down. The drill side to go back and buy a drill. 4 or 5 trips to get different size bolts. Like it was chaos. But
you got it.
I know. I think it runs quieter now than ever did.
That's always a good feeling.
Make a noise.
When you get it finished.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, you said it. We are what? I bet we planted 3 weeks earlier this year.
Yeah, I think exactly what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
3 weeks earlier, because last year was just we couldn't buy a rain.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple rains, and then like you said, hopefully we've got some more coming.
Yeah.
And we may get a true representation.
I'm hoping
of what our plots can be.
Yeah. Soils right now, and I'm super guilty about that. Like I was telling you when we filmed that little bit, it's like I've been doing this for a minute, not as long as you have, but I was like, I've never done a soil sample. Always just like, how much fertilizer can I afford to put on here?
Yeah, exactly.
How much lime, and let's drag over the top before I even had a tiller, and put out some pretty good plots that way. But,
oh yeah, it worked.
But it's amazing. We talked about this, like it's amazing anything even came up in my food plot last year.
Yeah.
How infertile it was.
Well, and my back one was just the opposite on the pH.
Yeah.
Wasn't as infertile, but the pH was terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like, neither one of us got good yields. And, we blamed it on the weather, which it was.
Yeah.
And the growing season. But maybe that, like I said.
It had to play a part.
Yeah, it had to play a big role in both of ours. So, we fixed that issue on both of them.
Yeah.
And now it's drilled in, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You can't get any better than that,
no,
I don't think.
The Buffalo system.
Yeah.
That'd be about the only way to get better.
Yeah. In the years to come, it's definitely going to get better, which, that's super. That's a whole other deal. I get so giddy about stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you before. It was like, man, we didn't, and we just did the 40-acre project. So obviously I had no use I didn't have a 2-acre food plot to mess with. But what if we'd have started the Buffalo system 5 years ago?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Or 6 years ago, or 10 years ago. Like, what would we be doing right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We may be growing corn and taking it to the farmer's market on the side or something.
Exactly. You would be farmers.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be crazy, but we'll see. I mean, I'm super pumped. I mean, from what I've seen already, I think it's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, those pictures. I need to come look because I'm going to be a little bit behind you. until we get a rain on my place, I won't show nothing really.
I think maybe get a surprise rain. The other morning you were texting me. I had no idea it was going to rain. In we got a nice light little rain there for a couple hours. I'm like, man, even every little bit of that stuff helps. My fruit trees were like, oh man, once I get off the property, I want to get off the property, but I take my water tote out there and water the trees. But now I think I'm past that.
Well, that's kind of where we are now, right? We're at the point where we don't want to go on. We're finally into the supplemental feed time.
Yeah.
And we're both not, well, you did once, I think, but I'm struggling with a pig. I got to figure out, it's a single pig.
Really?
And he's there every night and he stays, and he's not coming till after dark, and he's leaving before daylight. But 2 times he's came early, like 10 minutes before dark.
Oh, yeah.
And I just wasn't home, or I'm going to get him. He's just a garbage disposal is what I look at it. I mean, he's just.
Well, I got a pig problem too, which I had that sow and a bunch of little ones up there right after I think it was like 3 or 4 days after we could start feeding. It's like, gosh dang, here's a pig. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting on the couch with the wife watching TV. It goes off. I look at it, it's a pig. Second picture, pig. So it goes off again. I'll go out there and try to kill it. Went off again. So I ran and got my little kill light, clicked it, and it's still charged. Like, oh yeah. So
nice.
I put it on the 308, hopped, threw some Hey Dudes on, and drove the golf cart out there and got within probably 70 yards of the pig. And then I stuck all them round bells in there from your brother, where the electric company messed me up there to get some kind of cover. So I just kind of snuck up there behind them hay bales, flipped on that kill light, boom, smoked her right there. And then we were going to the client property the next day, and I just let her lay. I walked up there, and she died instantly.
Yeah.
No chance. And the next day, it was probably in the 80s. I'm like, fixing to load up the tractor and head over to the client property to think we was going to till, maybe brush hog. Can't remember, one of the two. I was like, man, I need to get this pig out of here. And so I drove out there, drug her out, and like she was already pretty nasty.
So you started stew.
So I got rid of that. And then today, it's probably about 9 o'clock this morning. I goes up on the big plot there, and I got 9 piglets.
Oh, no.
Yep, hanging out in the corn, sleeping, and everything else.
Motherless.
So motherless piglets walking around. And then on the lower plot, I had littler, smaller boar, and then a big boar down there. So I'm like, man, I used to build them cage. I still got all the stuff, got the T-posts, got the hog wire to build. I don't know, that's probably a 20-foot diameter.
Yeah.
I would feed inside that.
Right.
I really just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they keep coming, I don't know. Because at this point, it's like I really don't even want to go out there and shoot them because
I know
I've got some decent deer coming in.
Well, that's just it. I mean, we're a week.
One week. Yeah.
Week from today.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
1 week from today. I think Missouri opened today, right?
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah, I think Missouri opened today, and then we'll open next Saturday for the bow. So. And the other thing about it is, like with that cage deal, it's probably only 3.5, 4 foot tall hog wire. It's the Titan knit wire, but it's like my kill spot that I have from an early season where I had to feed. It's a little longer than when I like to take a bow shot, so I kind of got it set up for like a little crossbow area because I converted a rifle stand into an early season bow stand / crossbow stand. I could probably make the shot, but I'd feel better with a crossbow at that. It's close to 60 yards, 50 something yards.
Yeah, that's a little bit out there.
So if one hops in there and I'm trying to shoot it with a crossbow, it could go bad quickly. So it's like I really don't want to set up that feeder pin. But
I'm kind of like a week out, man. You may just let it roll.
I got to, yeah. There's nothing I can really do at this point.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go out there and start messing everything up because I got a couple pretty nice bucks already coming in. So, you do. And I think it'd be pretty hard to pass either one of them.
Yep, for sure. And that's funny too, because we've got something that happened with us on the client property.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like, you know what? I don't bow hunt. Yeah. Ain't gonna have time to. If you guys want to bow hunt it, it'd be all right to do. So, me and you, when we planted it, we actually put a ground blind in there.
Yeah.
And we're not ground blind guys, but
no.
The setup to get in and out is that's the best opportunity,
Yeah.
And got some nice bucks coming in there.
Yeah. I know. I've seen there's a couple in there. It'd be pretty hard not to take home with you.
Next Saturday evening, don't make plans.
Yeah. I'll be free.
Me and you will be, and you may have something at the house, too. Yeah. I mean, that may be.
Until I am. Until I get something for sure, I'm not going in. Especially where I've got them coming in. It's I don't know. It's a northwest deal, but if there's a west wind, I may go out there and sit for sure.
Yeah,
because I can get in and out, no problem at all. But unfortunately, my property looks like it's going to hunt the same way it did last year, and all the bucks are going to be on the giant food plot.
It's leaning that way already,
for whatever reason. Yeah. It's like that one camera that I had all the big bucks coming to last year, where I got the. I sent you that picture too. I already got scrape action underneath.
Yeah,
the
already cleaned up.
The limb I tied down, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But yeah, they're all kind of. I've got some decent ones down at the bottom, but they're all 2.5 years. Well, I got one that's probably like 4.5, but he's probably 140-inch deer on one side, and then he's got like a 12-foot pole on his left side, and that forks off. Like, what in the world is going on here?
With that? Yeah. So a tall club on the other side. Huh?
And the other one, I'm pretty sure it's the son of the buck I killed last year. His horn structure looks so much like him. Like, man, I already named him SJ Spike Jr., which my wife's maiden name is Jessie, and she kind of gets called SJ. So, like, I'm naming that buck SJ.
You took it.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't use that no more.
You're done. But,
so it's looking up. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, a week away, man. Yeah. And we may be flinging arrows. I mean, we'll see.
Well, we had talked about, and what we were afraid of was like, man, I don't think we're going to be able to plant until probably by the time
right in the middle.
We're able to supplement feed. We get some good bucks coming in. Now we're going there and blow it out with tractors running for 8 hours and all that stuff. So that was our fear, was like, we'll be planting the week of or the week after the opener. And now we're not. We're done. We're off the properties and done. So
yeah, and see, that's kind of cool because me and you both talked about it, but I'm so big about intrusion and going in and and you know, especially if you're hunting a big buck. I mean, he's just not going to hang out, man. If there's intrusion, and so we're off.
Yeah.
And we're still in feeding patterns and bachelor groups.
Oh yeah.
So you got a shot, man. Yeah. I mean, if this next, what would I say? I would say the next 2 to 3 weeks, probably.
Yeah.
Still in that feeding pattern where it looks like we're not going to be cool, but we're not going to be as hot.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a legit chance to kill a buck early.
Yeah.
And it really
that's
is.
something I didn't have last year was that opportunity. But
for sure.
I've got nothing. They're 2 hours after daylight right now, so I'm not getting too excited about it. Everybody's talking about, hey, you ready for the opener? Where are you going to be on the opener? It's like, I may be at the house.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not.
Well, and that's something we've both talked about too. It's like we've changed. We've changed our hunting styles in the last few years because we don't just go.
Yeah, no.
It's got to be right.
Yeah.
You know, the setup has to be right. The in and out has to be right. So I'm the same way.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to get out there if you wanted to harvest some does off your property. Yep. But oh man, I just don't know. Mine looks like it's probably about right for what I have. So I don't feel like, man, I need to kill does. So I'm not going to go out there. Plus, every one of my does has a fawn with them, and I'm pretty big on. I know they say it doesn't matter, but it's like I won't hardly kill a doe if it's got a fawn with it.
Yeah. Well, for me here, it's not. I've not had big doe numbers.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I don't really have a reason for that because we're not killing them.
Yeah.
And so, but I've just never had, I mean, when I first started years ago, it was like I had 10, 15, kind of like you do.
Yeah.
But now I may have 6 or 8 and that's it. And, and I mean, they're resident, they stay here.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it's been that way. But I think it's because I am the end of the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm the destination. And I am thicker now, and that's something else we talk about.
Well, yeah.
We've both tried to get our places thicker to make the habitat better for the deer, and you kind of start seeing some results from that.
Well, you even said you drove up there and seen my little, what we call the house plot, that bulletproof spot right there, and I plan to switch grass around it 2 or 3 times trying to get it take, and it's kind of shady. But you notice it too, and it's like, it's like starting to thicken up in here, looking pretty good.
Yep.
And so, man, if I can get that spot to go.
Yep, you have a daytime slipper right through there.
That's where I'll do my supplemental feeding is right there.
Yep.
Which,
I
got it was tracked up really big. I don't know what's coming there. The camera that I had right there, I'm a covert guy. I like them, but this thing is giving me fits. I called them. It won't connect. And the bad thing was it was connected. I went out there to change batteries and then it won't connect it'll show it's got a full signal, but it won't send me any pictures. Like it says connection failed on it. So they're really good. You call up there and talk to the lady, and I'm at the tree and like, she says, well, do this, do that. Now that didn't work. It's like, well, you probably need to run an update, and there's a new update out right now. You have to pull the SD card out, put it in your computer. It's pretty simple. You drag these 2 things to your SD card, put it in the camera, hold the button up, turn it on, and it downloads the new firmware, and you're good to go. Well, that didn't work either, but I'm running ScanDisk cards in mine, and she said, well, we've had some issues with the ScanDisk cards. The camera has the right update on it. You may want to switch like a Sony card. So I think I may run today and try to get a Sony card to see, and if not, they're really good about, you can ship that camera to them, and they'll ship you another one or take care of it or whatever.
Yeah. And that's what convinced me to get on to Covert.
Yeah, their customer service is outstanding. But I wasn't a fan of the update, and I told her, it was like, so I got to do this with all the cameras? Like, no, put the update on one SD card, and you can use that SD card, which my other cameras don't need it, because I was like, I was pretty whiny about it. Like, you may crawl all over this mountain and pull all my cameras down and take all of them to the laptop, and like, no, you don't have to do that. But they're supposed to update themselves, but apparently there's one new one out that you have to do this to or something. I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but anyway, so I got that camera down that's on that plot.
So you don't really know what's been through there.
There's tracks there, but I don't know what they are.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's bedding close by there, so I feel like they're probably
passing
right through there, headed to where they're going.
Like it was originally designed?
Yeah, exactly.
What we wanted them to do?
Yeah, exactly.
That they didn't really do
That's
last
another
year?
thing I did. I actually took one of my kind of like a spare camera and I hung it on the trail coming out of the bedding that we cut.
Oh, you did?
So no action yet, but I'm waiting until it's like I'm just going to hang it up in there. I put lithiums in it. I'm going to walk away from it.
Leave it be.
And I kind of want to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, come when it starts getting cold. And,
Well, that'd be a true representation of what's going down.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That spot's, you know, when I designed it for the bedding area, it's like, this is probably the spot right here. And I still stand by that. Now, like I said, where I'm going to expand that up to the north next winter.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you see what it
Yeah,
did.
we drove into it. And like,
Crazy.
wow.
Yeah, I just did. You know, I ain't very long. I don't know what it is. 100 feet by 100 feet. Probably cut down 15 trees, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So you're just going to expand it out?
It ain't very big, but it's going to get bigger for sure.
Yep. You know, it's always fun this time of year because we start getting awesome trail camera photos.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we put all the work in for.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a big early season guy, but, you know, kind of a ho-hum for me. I don't have nothing here.
Yeah.
And this is
It's
one
so
of the
weird.
Yeah, it's one of the first times and since I can remember that I don't have a buck for Lexi yet. And everything here early on is Lexi. I don't care what it is.
For sure.
She's going to get the first crack at
kind
it.
of the family.
Yeah, that's what we've always done.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty decent 10-point coming, and he's quit coming.
Yeah.
But as soon as Arkansas flipped the switch on baiting,
Yeah.
you know, putting food out,
Yeah.
it changed it. So, you know, there's people around me now that I didn't used to have. You know how it is. It's just like anything else.
Well, that's kind of what we talked about. I'm not a big advocate. If they outlawed feeding, it wouldn't hurt my feelings because we could rely on
Food plots.
It would kill early season, but the food plots is where we would definitely have an advantage.
Yeah.
But the downfall of that is like how many people are still going to be feeding.
Yeah, that'll cheat anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, so not to say that something can't come tonight. I mean, it's, you know, this time of year, you can pull some bucks that'll stay
Yeah.
that aren't living here.
Yeah.
Even in the early season.
Oh, sure.
And not to mention the flip switch that'll happen in October when you get all the bucks traveling.
Yeah.
You know, that's always fun because your food plots are rocking by then.
Yeah.
You, you know, you've got a pretty good doe base. You're going to pull some deer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, the pressure would be the only thing keeping you from pulling deer in here. And
Sure.
we try to set it up to where there's no pressure.
Yeah, it's set up right for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and it gets better every year. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like every year, you know, next year I'm going to do some more work on my place. And
Yep.
But talking about that October deal, you know, we kind of talked about with my place last year being a brand new 40-acre project, just got done. I think it was 2 days after I sent the text, like, okay, I think I got everything I could possibly do this year done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pour out and I'm gonna get off the property. I mean, it was like the floodgates open. It was like buck after buck after buck
remember.
after buck. So
I remember.
I'm probably 2 weeks out from that time frame to see what really starts popping.
Yeah.
But you know, like last week with the colder temperatures, and I had my cameras are just going off all day long with just small bucks and does, but they were hitting the water hole and they were just kind of wandering around the property.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you realize, like, okay, the improvements I'm making here, they like just walking around here, like, because it was, you know, I got cameras kind of canvassed all my corridors and water holes, and like, oh, there's a mom and two does. They're getting a drink of water, and here comes a little 2-year-old. He's walking by the trail leading to the big food plot, and there's one coming through they love walking through that switchgrass. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if you've noticed that on your place, but I finally got a pretty decent crop where mine's, you know, pushing 3 foot tall, and it's like I've got a camera hanging over one, and it's like these does, they just like walk through the switchgrass, and then you'll see them 3 minutes later, and they're walking back through it again. Like I don't know what
tickling their bellies or what.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They like hanging out there. So
yeah, I you know, my switchgrass took a hit too for whatever reason. I told you about that.
Yeah,
I went by it today, and I was just like, I don't know what happened. I mean, it's just big section of it's laying down.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll bounce back next year.
Yeah,
or whatever.
they say it will. It'll pop right back up. So,
but yeah, and it's, you know, I don't think it'll affect anything. We'll see.
Well, Well, that's the other exciting part about it too. Once you commit to doing the switchgrass thing, like I did, even on the north end of my place, it's like, okay, this year it's only 2 foot tall. Next year maybe be 4 foot tall, and everything just gets thicker and better. And changed my feeding area up a little bit, which kind of hurt me a little bit on my distance, but I think it helped me on my entrance and exit and everything else. And added the golf cart to the scenario. Get in, get out, super silent. Cleared all those trails out. Man, once the food plots get in there, like, I can't imagine what it's going to be like.
So you're only going in once a week, pretty much now at this point, right? Until you're ready to shoot something.
Trying to stay out.
The pigs don't mess us up anyway.
Yeah, that's my problem right now. Because I need to. Let's see. I'll probably feed again on Monday. Yeah. And then I'll try to make that last till Saturday. But if the pigs come in there and camp out. But the good thing about it is I'm trying to get in there by like 2:00 at the latest. Ease in with the golf cart, super slow. Kind of pre-cutting my bags open, laying the corn down, super quiet. Just riding back out. So my cameras are all adjusted and set where I want them to be. So I mean, it's a pretty quick and quiet process. So
it's go time now.
Yeah,
it's go time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it really is. I mean, we are there to see.
We worked for it, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's been a process, and me and you are always racking our brains to make it better.
Yeah.
Figure out what do we got to do? Okay, all right, we need this. All right, let's get that. Let's do it. And so, here we are. Let's see if it pays off. I think it's going to be good. It looks like if we get some rains, it's going to be plots are going to be the best they've ever been.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, best they've ever been. So
this is only year 2 on my plot, so it's like I didn't have, we didn't have good turnout last year for whatever reason, if it was, soil or weather or a combination of both. But I'm still learning my place. This is only the second year. I'll be on to see if it hunts differently now that I've made a few changes, if it hunts the same, what's going to be attracted to it, what's not going to be.
Well, you'd already kind of said the bucks are starting to show that your nuclear spot down there that they love.
I know.
Is starting to produce already, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
And we got to scout around and look, and we found trails, and we kind of put the puzzle together.
It kind of makes sense. For sure.
But it's like, man, what's the?
And I'm still always amazed though that the distance between the lower plot and the upper plot. I don't know. What do you think that is?
250, maybe? Is it that far?
Yeah, I don't know, but they do not cross over.
Yeah.
The bucks that'll hit the little kill plots and stay down the south end, they do not frequent the north end.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
I was telling her that last night. I was like, I just can't believe, because there's even 2 separate doe groups. The doe group that's down low, I sent you that picture with what was it? Like probably 8 does and all their fawns.
Yeah, it was 10. Yeah, it was 10. Yeah.
So that's my doe group that then they hang out there. I think I've gotten 1 picture of a doe up top this whole time. They stay down low. They don't go up top. And last year it was the opposite. They were always up top and not down low. So
really?
There's 1 doe and 1 fawn they eat up top where I've been pouring out, and then all the rest of them are down low. They don't go up top.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, see, okay, so that'll be interesting. Okay, my plots are probably the same distance apart.
Yeah,
maybe?
I bet so, yeah.
And I was telling you this last time, once or twice in 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I've always had something back there.
Yeah.
If I wasn't feeding, I had little food plots or something.
Sure.
But the same deer would be in both places.
Yeah.
And you don't have that.
No, I know. It's weird.
Weird.
And I'm the why guy. And it's like, I want to know what is going on here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. It's not dominancy yet because the bachelor groups are still together.
No, yeah, exactly.
So it's not, the deer that are going down low, I would say, are a little lower age class and a little lower scoring deer than the ones that are coming up top. But there's nothing there yet. They're not battling for position yet. It's just like, why would you not? I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
I would like to know. I'd like to have somebody smarter than me kind of figure.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like some major funnel up above that brings the deer to that spot.
That are just in a different area or something.
And then when they're traveling over here, they hit, I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's just like we're saying, that spot that was so good for you for bucks last year is already starting to show that.
Yep. That's why I sent you that picture the night, the first, that random camera. And I do have a scrape and a water hole there, but it's like pretty much every shooter buck I had last year hit that camera. And it's like, and it was, what was it? Wednesday night. It's like that big 8 walked through. I'm like, here we go.
Yep.
It's the party started, first one. And then, I went ahead and made the little mock scrape underneath that. My last little hoorah, I did my cleaning up and trimming up my last time to be on the property other than feeding.
Right.
And so I scraped up all my areas and I hadn't been over on that side, obviously, but the one that we tied down the big white oak tree, it already had a scrape underneath it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Which, there's a bunch of buck competition and there's a bunch of deer that's coming in and out of there. And like I told you, that lower plot, it's like, man, we seeded that thing pretty heavy, but it is trampled with deer tracks. Like,
yeah.
I guess you said the seed, the soil contact, I'll be pretty
good. It's high. It's got to be. There's no
seed. It looks
seed.
like a cattle trough where you feed cattle. Oh my gosh, which it's a smaller plot, but there's not an inch where
it's not been stepped on.
Or it doesn't have a deer track in it for sure.
Well, I always thought, okay, mature bucks come to the same spot and there's several of them coming. There's a reason why. And you think, okay, what's that why? Well, okay. And the first thing that pops in my head, they're scent checking the big food plot.
Yeah.
Well, that can't be because it would have to be an east wind, which we hardly ever have.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, that's not it.
Yeah.
But it was crazy last year. You would just be like, dude, here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And it's like same spot.
Yeah.
And you got spots all around that place.
The exact same spot.
It's
same
setups.
Same mock scrape, same water hole. Yeah.
But it was just like the magnet for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And your deer that you killed actually died, 20 yards from that spot?
Yeah,
if that. Yeah. So, what in the world, man? I don't know.
Like I talk about that stand I got hung up in that tree. Took it down. It's like, there's no way I can get it in here. And I was like, I'm putting it back up just in case.
Yeah.
It's like, man, time's winding down here. I'm going in because and I told you about that. I had that big white oak tree kind of on the highline wire there that crosses me and the neighbors. Like, dude, I could probably come in with a south wind and get right on that deal and maybe get one arrowed right there.
Yeah.
And then the electric company contractors came in there and cut that tree down. It's like, okay, well,
that's gone.
That's out of the question. So
mark that off.
I don't know, man, but it's cool to see like the little tie down deal. And we did that on the client's property.
Yeah. I've got a picture of a younger buck. He's over there checking it. Yeah. So there we go. I mean,
it's so cool
it works
this time of year. It's, I don't know. I'm not saying it's all we think about because we pretty much do that food plotting or how can we change this pretty much all year round. But I got a text a Thursday at work. It was like, hey, now that you're done food plotting, can we, get a quick date night in before we start doing deer stuff? It's like, you bet. We'll go out Friday night, and took her out to eat and everything. And then it's like, well, it's that time of year again. The cameras are going off. She's like, the boy, he graduated, not playing football now. So used to be at the football game, and that was when football season started. That's when I started running camera, started feeding.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm checking my camera. So last night at dinner, it was like my watch buzzes and my phone goes off. And she's like, you gonna look at it? I was like, nope, I'm on a date.
I'm with you, darling.
Yeah, not looking at it. Sorry. Not gonna do it. But
I wondered why you didn't text me back. That's what it was. Right
when I got in the truck, I was like, let's see what I got out. Check this out right quick. So, but last night was a little bit slower night for my place. I don't know what the deal was. I had that one good one.
Was for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
He was right there on that water hole spot, but he never came to the supplemental feed spot.
Really?
Which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was last night. Now I've told you we could have doubled last night.
Yeah.
On the client property.
Yeah. Did he say it was? He said we could hunt it. Did he say we could kill all the deer off of it, or?
I didn't ask.
We don't have anything in writing, so hey, if you're listening to this,
hey man, it's not happening that way.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting time, dude. I mean, we really worked hard to try to make this the best it can be, and we're going to continue to change and make it better. but it's like, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here. It's still hot, but I'm a huge early season guy, man. It works. It works. If you can get them coming, you got a chance. You got a really good chance in that evening. So that's where we are.
It's kind of like we talked about. It's like, we've said it several times. We're constantly out working on a thing or talking about it or redesigning it or my phone's been going off here lately with other people like, hey man, help me. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're giving this advice, and I love all that stuff.
Yep.
And I can always talk about food plotting and deer management and everything else, but hard work is rewarded at some point. So
yeah,
the hard work now is kind of done.
I know, and we're both looking at each other like, what are you doing now? I don't know. What are you doing?
It's kind of weird. So now the hard work's done. Next, I guess what we talk about, trying to get it kind of crimped over fairly early and get our summer plots in, so we'll have that, that rotting stuff. So next April-ish probably.
Before we're back on them.
It'll all start over again, you know. It's like we'll get in some turkey hunts and try to get some birds down, and we'll be right back on there.
That's a crazy thought. I've never thought of it that way, but we're done on our plots until next spring. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. All the raking and tilling and blowing up tillers and dust. Yeah. Well, you played it smarter than me. I was like, I gotta hurry up and get mine done. You're like, I'm gonna wait for the first rain. I'm like, oh, I wish I would have. I coughed up dirt. I normally have like mask laying around. I had nothing, so I was pretty much tilling with my shirt up over my nose. Yeah, and then sometimes I'd have to stop the tractor because the wind would switch direction and cover up my whole tractor, and I couldn't see where I was going.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let me stop and let this clear off here. Right quick.
No doubt.
Little did I know my tiller was self-imploding behind me. It was so dusty back there.
Well, when you run over culverts and blocks and bricks.
Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. But it looks really good.
No, it's in good shape. Dude, like I said, I did some drone footage on it. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Cool. Yeah. Especially with all them tire tracks from that no-till drill.
Dude.
Nothing but a food plot of tire tracks, man.
Yeah. It's crazy for sure. That's a time-consuming deal. But like I said, you take all that tilling and all that stuff out of it now, it's like it's going to be... It's well worth the drive.
Yeah, and no waste, and it's just we can dial it right in.
Oh yeah,
however we want to do it, man.
And we did it quickly this time. We got it dialed in. Well, matter of fact, now we probably won't ever have to. Well, I don't know what
unless we change it.
If we do a buckwheat or something. But
let's figure.
We can definitely document it in the. That's kind of what I did with the beans. I documented in the manual. Like here's what the setting for the beans, and we'll do the same for what we got right now.
Well, just FYI, the oats did fine.
In it.
The oats are a long, skinny seed.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about it, but
no problem.
Seeded right through.
Yeah, that's the thing that attracted me to that drill is like it's
all of them.
You can put whatever you want to in there, set it for the biggest size so it's not cracking that seed, and then start going.
Go.
So we were talking about the RPMs and everything. I was running mine, at 2,000 in third gear, and like, let's plant. It still took a long time, but I mean, it don't matter. Just fly around that thing and get it done.
Well, me on mine, and mine's an acre back there.
Yeah.
I realized how big yours was.
Yeah.
Double the size. That's a lot. Dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot because mine's a triangular shape.
Yeah.
Back there, and I was making this long pass, and then I would raise and spin around, make the long pass, and I was thinking, Chris, this is double this.
Yeah.
Like, nah, leave.
It's kind of monotonous especially when you're just like staring at that hook, trying to keep it in line, the whole time. You're like, oh, my eyes are getting tired of staring at this hook.
Well, see, I had that center pile.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that was my issue.
Yeah.
Because, you can't get even close to the pile if you're going towards the pile.
Yeah.
And so I would raise the bucket up.
Yeah.
Well, then I'd lose my hook. The center of the hood does the exact same thing.
Okay.
You got a little crease in the middle of your hood.
Get it dialed in.
I would follow it down that hood crease.
Well, that's me with all the fruit trees would be awesome. I have an orchard out here and everything else. And then when you start drilling, you're like,
these are in the way.
Fruit trees in the way. I could just put this thing in gear and go. But
yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty good. And I think I think I pretty well covered everything. Whatever I didn't cover, like I said, once it kind of comes in, I'll run out there one Saturday around noon and just make a couple passes with my big spreader and then top seed it with some rye, and it'll fix whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too many gaps. Maybe right up against the fruit trees.
Yeah.
About it.
But we put a lot of seed out, brother. A lot of seed out. So. Well, hopefully, we're gonna have some deer encounter stories the next time we talk, and maybe hey, we had to go in, but we went in to pull a big buck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. We had to intrude on our property because Big Boy was down.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we need to be for sure. I mean, and who knows? I mean, it can happen. You know, they may start. Well, you had on the client property, you had some daylight pictures, a couple of good ones. So,
yeah,
I mean,
last night.
I'm not going in until I get that, and I'm a couple hours off of that now. But I mean,
it could flip.
Yeah, for sure. It can happen any minute where they just like start popping in there.
I did say we're going to see where it's going to be kind of warm Saturday next week. So
yeah, I don't plan on hunting just because it doesn't look right to me. Now, if you look at the upcoming stuff, the following Wednesday as of right now looks like it's going to be, it's when the temperature kind of starts going back down in the morning. So it's like, I don't know, may see what a Wednesday evening looks like or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, it's an exciting time, guys, and we just want to tell you kind of what we've been doing. And we've been missing the podcast. We've missed it a couple weeks. So
we've been hooked up.
But that's what we had today for you guys. We appreciate y'all listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye, y'all.
Bye.